Welcome. The content in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical advice, a diagnosis, or a treatment plan for any individual. Listening to this podcast does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. Always consult your own qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your health, medication, or lifestyle. By choosing to listen further, you acknowledge and agree to these terms.
Welcome to Feeling Good Feels Good with Dr. Tripp.
Welcome to a state of feeling good. It's how we live and how you could. Just know it's how we're all meant to be. If things are off, listen to your body. It can tell us exactly what we need. Physical, emotional, nutritional, or mentally. No need to worry, it's reached accessibly. No matter how you felt or what you've heard, well-being's for everyone, it's what you deserve. Ease and joy are yours once it's understood. No need to fear, because feeling good feels good.
Welcome into Feeling Good Feels Good. I am your host, Dr. Tripp. This is the podcast where we talk about total wellness and outright wellness. We look at wellness through four major lenses: mental, emotional health, physical health, chemical, nutritional health, and then habit, lifestyle, and environmental health. It's fall, so you know what that means. People are all about pumpkins. But what are pumpkins all about? In this episode, we're going to take a look at the nutrition of pumpkins. What's actually going on in these pumpkin lattes? Where do pumpkins come from? How to grow them? How to get the best health benefit from them? And why do we carve holes in them for Halloween? Let's start with the basics. Is a pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable? Technically speaking, a pumpkin is a fruit. It grows from the flowering part of the plant, and it has seeds inside, categorizing it as a fruit. So botanically, pumpkins are fruit. But if you ask most chefs, it's used like a vegetable. It gets roasted with olive oil and herbs, blended into soups and stews, mashed into side dishes, mixed into risottos, curries, or pasta, and then sometimes it is used like a fruit in pies and tarts. So by plant biology, a pumpkin is a fruit. But in the culinary world, ingredients can be based on their flavor profile, texture, and how they are used. So depending on who you're talking to, some might call a pumpkin a fruit, and some might call it a vegetable. So why is fall all about pumpkins? It's really just about timing. Pumpkins are warm season crops, which means that they need warm sun, long days, and rich soil. So they're planted at the end of spring, early summer, but they don't really hit their stride until late September, early October. That means pumpkins are in season as the colors change and the air cools. Pumpkins, along with squash and corn, were one of the three sisters of Native American agriculture. They were grown together, eaten together, and stored for winter. Because pumpkins were harvested in the fall but could be stored for many months, they became one of the few fresh plant foods that are available in the wintertime. This was especially important before refrigeration was available. Okay, so we understand why pumpkins are all about fall and winter, but what's the deal with Halloween? The tradition of carving scary faces into vegetables came from Ireland and Scotland. People used to hollow out beets or turnips and carve them into lanterns called jack-o'-lanterns, named after an old folk tale about a man named Stingy Jack who tricked the devil and was doomed to wander the earth with only a glowing coal inside a carved out turnip to light his way. When Irish and Scottish immigrants came to North America, they brought this lantern tradition, but turnips were hard to find, and pumpkins were easier to carve, bigger to put light inside of, and more available in the autumn and winter time. So pumpkins replaced turnips, and the modern jack-o'-lantern was born. Speaking of fall and pumpkin, something that's gone crazy is pumpkin spice. What part of the pumpkin do you think is in your pumpkin spice? The answer is none of it. There is actually zero pumpkin in pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice is just a warm blend of spices that have been traditionally used to make pumpkin pie. It's usually a mix of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, and allspice. Some blends may have cardamom, but there's zero pumpkin in pumpkin spice. Some products, like pumpkin bread, may include pumpkin puree, but the pumpkin spice itself came from companies in the 1950s marketing this blend of spices as a shortcut to make pumpkin pie filling easier. As time went on, this warm, cozy spice combo became iconically linked to fall, especially in American culture. In traditional Chinese medicine, pumpkin is seen as a warming food to support digestion and spleen function. Pumpkins are native to Central America and Mesoamerica, and the domestication of pumpkins dates back thousands of years ago. Pumpkins are a great example of why sometimes whole food nutrition is way better than supplementation. One of the best parts about the pumpkin is the antioxidant beta-carotene. It is a powerful antioxidant, especially for helping protect your lungs. It supports your immune defenses and overall respiratory system. But when removed from the pumpkin and taken isolated as a supplement, it actually has the opposite effect. It can damage the lungs and damage the respiratory system. Because beta carotene was found to be so helpful for the lungs, scientists decided to isolate it and supplement it, especially test it for people who have higher likelihood of lung issues like smokers. The results were astounding. They actually had to stop the studies early because the isolated beta carotene increased cancer and mortality from cancer at an alarming rate. And the rate was higher in smokers versus non-smokers. Now, this is not to say that you can't have pumpkins. This is not what I'm saying whatsoever. This is just a perfect example of how sometimes nature's design can be perfect and enough for what we already need. The other antioxidants in pumpkins and other nutrients combine, work synergistically, and help stabilize and enhance each other's healing effects on the body. So what is beta carotene and what does it help with? Beta carotene is provitamin A. Our body absorbs it, but doesn't treat it as vitamin A until we need it. Our body converts it into vitamin A, and if our vitamin A levels are sufficient, this conversion slows down. This is just an amazing example of the way our bodies are meant to exist in nature. It's an example of what's called a food matrix. A food matrix is a combination of fiber, nutrients, enzymes, and phytochemicals found in food that actually change how they behave. This food matrix in pumpkins improves absorption of all the nutrients, supplies us with antioxidants, and protects the body from excessive conversion into vitamin A, creating vitamin A toxicity. The pumpkin is like a well-designed vehicle delivering all of these nutrients in a perfect amount at a perfect time to protect our body. So pumpkins are a fantastic food to support your vitamin A levels. Vitamin A is known to be essential for a few specific body systems: our eyes, our lungs, and our immune system. Vitamin A is also sometimes referred to as the skin vitamin. So the antioxidants in pumpkins combining with the other nutrients in the food matrix help support our eyes, our immunity, our breathing, as well as our skin, decreasing the symptoms of aging and helping prevent chronic illness and disease. The fiber and complex carbohydrates in pumpkins also help stabilize our blood sugar and regulate our energy and our mood. It's no wonder pumpkins have been around for so long and been a staple for so many seasons of our lives. The micronutrients help our skin, eyes, lungs, and immune system, while the macronutrients like carbs and fiber help our digestive system, our blood sugar, and regulate our mood and energy. They can also be stored through the winter, even though they start growing in the beginning of the spring. And we did not forget about pumpkin seeds, an amazing nutrient-dense food that we will talk a lot more about in our episodes about seeds, trail mixes, and nuts. But for now, I hope you have enough information to enjoy the pumpkin and enjoy the fall I can't wait to see you next time on Feeling Good Feels